Look, let's be real for a second. There's this weight you're carrying, right? You might not have a name for it yet, but you feel it every morning the moment your eyes open. It's that tightness in your chest that tells you that you're already behind before the sun is even up. I call it the weight of the ghost. See, honestly, modern productivity culture has basically turned our entire existence into a transaction. It's a game of if or then. If I work this hard today, then I'll be happy in 5 years. If I sacrifice my sleep, my hobbies, my peace, then maybe, eventually, I'll earn the right to relax. It treats this very moment, this breath you are taking right now, as nothing more than a coin you have to toss into a well to buy a better tomorrow. But here's the thing that blew my mind when I finally realized it. We're taught to visualize this future self as our best friend. We're told to love him, to provide for him, to sacrifice everything to make sure he's okay. But think about it. Really think about it. That person is a stranger. When you look 10 years down the road, you're looking at a hypothetical human being. They'll have different cells in their body. They'll have different desires. They'll live in a world we can't even imagine yet. And yet, you are currently starving yourself, literally or metaphorically, just to feed him. I mean, if a stranger walked up to you on the street and demanded you give up your weekends, your passions, and your mental health so they could be comfortable in a decade, you'd tell them to get lost, wouldn't you? But because we call that stranger me, we let him rob us blind. We suffer through jobs we hate. We stay in relationships that have gone cold. We hold back our true voice. All because we're terrified of failing this ghost who hasn't even been born yet. It's a specific kind of anxiety, isn't it? It's the fear that if we don't please this hypothetical version of ourselves, our whole life was a waste. But look at your hands. Are they empty? Or are they just tired from holding on to a person who doesn't exist? If I'm being totally real with you, aren't you just exhausted? I mean, really. Exhausted from living for a legacy you'll never actually see? Exhausted from trying to pay off a mortgage on a house you haven't even moved into yet? Look, we need to talk about this debt we think we owe to tomorrow. Most people I talk to feel behind. I felt that too, that deep nagging guilt because you want to change paths, but you feel like you can't. Why? Because you've already spent 5, 10, maybe 20 years investing in a specific version of your future. You think, if I stop now, if I change my mind now, then all that time was wasted. But here's the thing that changed everything for me. Your past is not a down payment. And your future is not a debt collector. Honestly, success is not the completion of some grand 10-year master plan. That's just business school logic applied to the human soul. It doesn't work here. Success, real success, is the quality of your current consciousness. Think about that for a second. If you are suffering today, if you are miserable, stressed, and disconnected right now just to ensure a happy tomorrow, then you're basically trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. Tomorrow is a mirage, friend. It's always one day away. And when you finally get there, do you know what you'll find? It'll just be today again. If you don't learn to be happy in the messy, visceral reality of now, you will never, ever be happy in the future. Why? Because you will have spent your entire life practicing the art of waiting. You'll be an expert at almost being happy. We have to stop viewing our daily actions as installments on a life that hasn't started yet. Your life isn't starting in 5 years when you get the promotion. It isn't starting when you lose the weight or find the partner, or pay off the car. It's happening while you're listening to my voice. So, look at the goals you're chasing. Are you chasing them because you love the pursuit? Or are you just trying to pay back a ghost? If the debt is making you miserable, maybe it's time to declare bankruptcy. Walk away from the plan and walk back into your own life. What if the greatest lie you've ever been told is that you owe something to your future? Seriously. Think about the language we use. We talk about building a life. We talk about investing in ourselves. It's all economic language. It's as if we've been conditioned to sacrifice our visceral breathing reality for a hypothesis. Honestly, it's like we've turned our entire lives into a waiting room. You're sitting in the foyer of your own existence, looking at the door, waiting for the real party to start. But look, the party is in the foyer. There is no other room. I remember when I first heard this metaphor, and it kind of broke my brain. Think about a musician. If a pianist sat down and played the notes as fast as possible just to reach the final chord, would you call that music? Of course not. That's just a task. The point of the song isn't the final note. The point of the song is the playing of it while it's happening. And yet, we treat our careers, our health, our relationships, like a song we're trying to finish as quickly as possible so we can get to the reward at the end. But here's the cold truth, friend. The reward at the end of the song is silence. I mean, think about it. We spend our entire lives building a prison out of our own potential. We're so scared of letting that future version of us down that we end up locked in a cage of our own expectations, you know? You do not owe your future self a specific identity. Basically, we've been told that we have to be consistent. We've been told that if we start a path, we have to finish it, or we're failures. But who says? Who says you have to be the person you decided to be when you were 18? Or 25? Or even yesterday? When you dismantle that obligation, when you realize you don't owe that stranger in the future anything, the air suddenly gets a lot easier to breathe. I mean, imagine the freedom. Imagine waking up and realizing you aren't a debt to be repaid to your own ambitions. You aren't a project that needs to be completed. You are a visceral reality that is meant to be felt. If I'm being real with you, killing your future self, just letting go of that rigid, demanding, greedy ghost, is the only way to finally be free. It's the only way to stop being a slave to a hypothetical tomorrow and start being the master of a very real today. Stop sacrificing the man in the mirror for the man in the dream. The dream isn't real. You are. If I'm being real, ask yourself, what if you never reach that horizon? Was the walk worth it? Because if the answer is no, if the journey itself is miserable, then honestly, friend, you're on the wrong path. I know. I really do. It's scary to let go of the plan. Without that debt to the future, you feel kind of naked, don't you? Without the ghost to chase, you feel aimless. But I want you to look at what the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, tried to tell us 2,000 years ago. He basically said that it's ridiculous to worry about the future because you'll meet it with the same weapons of reason that arm you against the present. Honestly, his whole point was this: you only ever possess the present. You can't lose the future because you don't own it yet. And if I'm being real with you, there's a spiritual side to this that we usually ignore. Think about how God describes himself. He doesn't say, I will be. He says, I am. The divine isn't waiting for you in 10 years when you finally get your life together. God isn't hanging out with your future self in some perfect version of your career. He's here, right now, in the mess. When you spend your life working for the ghost, you're basically telling the universe that the life God gave you right now isn't good enough. That you know better. That you need to improve on the miracle of your own existence. Look, success isn't a destination, friend. It's the ability to stand in your own skin, with all its flaws and uncertainties, and realize that you don't need to be someone else to be worthy of this moment. Stop treating your life like a down payment. The house is already yours. The life has already started. The ghost, he's gone. Go now. Stop living for that stranger in 10 years. Start living for the soul that's looking through your eyes right now. You aren't a debt to be repaid. You're a miracle. Witness it. You're still here. Good. Usually, this is where people ask, okay, if I kill the ghost, what's left? If I'm not working for my future, am I just supposed to sit still? Honestly, no. Carl Jung had this idea about individuation. He basically said that our greatest task isn't to become some perfect version of ourselves in the future, but to become whole right now. Look, here's the reality. When you stop working for the ghost, you don't stop moving. You just stop straining. Think about a tree. An oak tree doesn't wake up and stress about becoming a future oak. It doesn't feel behind because it hasn't reached the clouds yet. It just grows. It does the work of being a tree in the present, with everything it has. I mean, I spent years trying to be the man with the plan. I thought that if I wasn't constantly measuring my progress against some hypothetical stranger, I'd fall apart. But this blew my mind. When I finally let the ghost go, I actually became more productive. Not because I was chasing a debt, but because I was finally in love with the work itself. So, here's my challenge for you tomorrow morning. When you wake up and that old anxiety starts whispering, when it starts telling you that you're not there yet, smile at it and tell it, I'm not trying to get there anymore. I'm already here. Basically, the greatest gift you can give your future is to be fully alive in your present. If you take care of the soul you have today, the person you become tomorrow will be more than okay. I promise. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If this conversation helped you drop a bit of that weight, share your thoughts with me in the comments. I read them. Honestly, it's why I do this. Be still. Be whole. This is telos theory. Seek the end. Find the purpose.